really to keep the country clean. This is a model the World Bank is showing. If you don't have a capability of industrialization, why not you push away all these companies to come to your country again? So this is which model across the road again. We don't know where you are going, and then Africa is research on that. So urbanization infrastructure, for me, is a supply and demand. While China today have 1.3 trillion US, not is 2.1 trillion US dollar reserve, is world number one in money. If US government want to devaluate this money, it's policy making now. It can devaluate 15%, and China, that's what's pushing this money outside the world. Now, the best way for investment is mineral resources. You have to put in oil, in gas, you have to put in infrastructure like buildings, because they know these assets can maybe keep this money at a really high value. Okay, they buy gold, the diamond, any of these things. Because small enterprises don't get a lot of, they have, but it's not really where the government puts so much money, because there's a risk to repatriate this money. Have to be fast a little bit. So now, this you can see demand if you do. Now, from assistance to partnership, that's where maybe is a key issue now in the infrastructure again, okay? Now, African governments, they've been maybe on getting more help, more assistance for a long time. But Chinese people say that, you know, there's no lunch, there's no free lunch, every lunch has a meaning. Anyone give you anything for free has already a meaning. Why I give you free of charge anything? There's no free lunch, any lunch, every lunch has a meaning. That's what they say. That's why many presidents, like, they don't want to take no more too much really assistance. They're going to give back in the future, which is very bad. Now, we are open for partnership, and many countries in Africa, they start to understand that you need to get rid of assistance, or we have to reformulate and see really how to work very well. So these are like very quick, they give you a few minutes. You know, we have a lot of reserve, but this is, you know, unfinished research. A friend of mine we are doing together researching on African mineral resources, see which countries they have more than another one. We have oil, we have a coal. So now Africa has no way to demonstrate. You don't have energy, sufficient energy. Many cities that don't have enough energy just to accommodate really the development, which is this a natural gas. In many countries, we have really tons and tons of billion. But again, many African countries even don't know what is underground, because our soil is full of stuff. Only colonial rule like French, British, French, they know, they did studies a long time ago, but they didn't give to these countries to know what it's about. Okay? So it means that you need to buy that studies, which is very costly for them. I have to be sorry for it. So now, this is the way China is funding. We have what we call China Africa Development Funds, which basically was an FOCAC, Forum on China Africa. So this one is funding agriculture, power plants. This is how really they are managing this. If you want to get Google this, you can maybe check out the fund. Another very interesting fund here you can check is how they call it, Exim Bank, which I didn't maybe write is the Exim Bank is China Import Export and financing a lot of infrastructure. So now, what type of investors we have in Africa? So the market is free with neoliberalism. Now the market is probably, we are too early to open our market. We need to be a little bit adjusting. Privatization, public, and then in cities, and major acquisition and joint ventures really are taking a place, which is African entrepreneurship is very high now to really express in the city to do. Attracting sectors, I don't enumerate them, you can see them here. But key question now, why many Africans spend much more expensive than anywhere you go? Just travel to anywhere, tiny, small hotel will cost you $200, $300. Probably travel a lot in hours, maybe in some, I visit 18 African countries, so it's so hard to have a very nice hotel, $100, $50, does not work. If you're really a professional, want to live, you have what you need. This gentrification in African country, who benefits? The economy is booming, but again, you have so many things happening, land grabs, corruption. We're going maybe to talk about a little bit how to go, and then institutional change, poverty, slum, this is everybody talking, but no one denying urbanization really is a key engine like attacking like that. So in my conclusion, sorry, I'm going to be very fast. We're going to have a question later. So rethinking the sustainability in policy and planning. This is where all the countries are thinking about now. We've got the World Bank, IMF, including the African Development, the huge for Africa countries review the plan because the future challenge for generational resources is going to be very high if there is not that. And the capacity building and the strategic planning. This is what probably we were discussing with Dr. Ali Unit to try to find many ways of funding capacity building of African sustainability in the urban development, where we want to be triangular, maybe learn how Canada is doing or North America to really engage what China did really achieve or develop the other side, instead of putting really pressure on each other, who is doing better, who did bad. But this is a triangular really game we would love to engage in the next future. So now, no one denied today China is really major. It's not only funding Africa, it's funding, I don't know, Canada, but at least United States.
The world.
The world is funding and money is from China. Okay? If I remember in 1987, my professor's salary was $5 US in China. Well, my scholarship, when I got to have a coffee, beer, in the bar, Chinese professor were looking from the window, like said, how can you spend money at $10? Today we see Chinese people they spend money. And this is only 200 million people who had that capability. What about 1.3 billion, the time coming like that. So how long now, this is how long maybe African city are going to capitalize this opportunity that China is ready to fund and just to build sustainable, innovative cities. This is a question I leave with you. And I believe this is probably very important to think about because we're in front of opportunities. All the world, Africa, the last piece of cake, if I can say. 1.3 billion population, they're going to be even for the next few years. Everybody wants to grab that market, okay? We have a market, we have money coming, everything. Now it's institutional restructuring, and the cities are going to have all this pressure in the way really the vision they're going to see. So I'm going to stop here because he's looking from the other eye. So which means that I have to stop. So if you have any question, you can maybe try to exchange. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Jamahi. Now we are looking for the other panelists. Anyone here?
Joseph.
From the University of Kharkov. Anyone?
No, actually, no. This has this talk yesterday. Yeah, this talk. So the next should be Joseph Njara, University of Nairobi. He's also launched. Oh, okay.
Joseph from Nairobi.
No, it's not here. No.
So
we have time for discussion.
Yes. So you could have some vision of high-scale panorama in economy. So what we could think and have some questions.
Very good. I think we can invite
Anastasia.
Anastasia, please can you come on the table? We're going to ask you questions. I was very interested in your presentation. I don't know where comes that initiative of looking deeper into Angola. I hope that my colleagues from Angola are here. They were not here. A very, very interesting presentation, very well researched. And then I just would like to ask you one or two questions. The first one is that in terms of housing policy, normally it is interesting to see this new town being built next to Rwanda. Normally, in very good housing economics and housing policy, you should secure who is buying, what is the market looks like before you engage into constructing 20,000 housing units. Now, okay, at the beginning you said it was a ghost town. To what extent today is that what is the name of that place? Kilamba. Yeah. It's been occupied. It's been to what extent it is living, and then is the model being reproducible? I mean, in the face of what you have said, the crunch of financial resources coming from the oil reserve, is it possible to enter into these new town issues, which may be another big problem? You said the slum has been pushed away. I know that particularly in Rwanda, there have been a lot of slums. When I visited, there was even the vertical slums, what we call the vertical slums, those slums that was occupied after the Portuguese had left. Today, is there any plan for slum upgrading, meaning that giving a chance to the people that are poor but living into different places in Angola, in Rwanda, in order to have a chance to continue living in the places? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your questions. They're really interesting. And I've been looking at the project, or should I answer right now? Or should we go?
Yeah, of course.
So I've been looking at the project, especially the media attention to the project, to the Kilamba city. And the Kilamba has been Ghost City, but those schemes that I mentioned, they actually, and there's a few videos showing that Kilamba is actually very well occupied right now. And I think in the video that...
And how much costs an apartment in Kilamba?
Last time I checked, and I think I have that data here, it was going down from 120,000 to, I believe, from 120,000 to, they dropped the price down, and I wish I had the number with me. But
Probably subsidized by government.
subsidized. So it's with the help of Chinese. So the government has created this scheme based on the inflow of oil resources, and they created this package to make that. So you are basically getting kind of renting to purchase the building. So and a lot of people that were moving to the city were really interested in this initiative because that made the apartments more a bit cheaper, not cheaper, but easier for them to access. And there was, I think, in the media they were talking about long lineups for the people who were interested to get into the houses to submit their application for that. So that's an interesting phenomenon. And for the second question, whether it's reproducible, that's a great question because as oil reserves run out, it's harder for the government to get access to the money if they don't build a reserve in a way. And right now the Angolan government had to go to China and try to get more money to support that budget because the budget has been declining and it's harder for them to get the money and invest it within the development of the new developments. But again, I'm not, it's still my research area, so I'm not very well aware, and I would love to travel there and see it firsthand. I've been just following the media and how the situation was evolving. And for the pushing slums away, so a few cities that I mentioned in I think the Zangu area was actually created to help relocate the people from the slums and create a safer areas for them to live in. But it's far different city. I believe it's a few hours longer ride, so it's harder for them to get access to their work and the school and places. So there's this and that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, all right.
Okay, my friends. One more question. We are supposed to finish now. Okay. We got 1 hour late in the last group, the last question. Now we'll try to cover our time. Okay. Thank you all for the audience.
Is there any question? Is there any question to the panel? I think the chair decided to cut the time and then to open the room. Thank you.
Actually, we were late. We were very late.
Yes. Thank you.